It took me a very, very long time to figure out a way to create my own happiness. I think a lot of what I struggled with is I was ignoring my own happiness. My brain was finding ways to, make it so I wasn't happy or I didn't think it was a good time. And I think overall the biggest thing that helped me was reaching out to people. Reached out to my parents, reached out to close friends. It's not like I walk around with a sign on my chest every day saying, hey, I'm depressed, treat me differently. I think that was my biggest fear about when I first started reaching help. Born and raised in Jackson, Michigan. I really liked my childhood. I spent a lot of time outside. My mom raised my brother and I kind of like how she was raised, where she'd kick us outside and tell us to go play games, go play some sports, and she'll let us know when dinner's ready. Anything that kept us outside the house and active. Definitely a sport-driven childhood, really fun. I was always busy. I've always been a pretty happy, cheery kid. I just tried to always be happy and smiley and focus on trying to make other people happy. And I kind of morphed into this weirdly outdoorsy nature guy, and I've always kind of said I get along better with trees than I do with people for the most part. I really just like the calming presence it brings to me. It's like I have conversations with people without having conversations. It's just kind of peaceful and quiet, and I really like learning about how incredibly interesting everything around us is.
Here comes Fargo coming up strong, and again it's the Smirnoff line in deep, a shot and a goal, and that's going to be Brody Stevens. He came whipping in, showed his feet on the right wing.
Junior is pretty much the path for anyone that wants to play college hockey. Ever since I was about 12, 13, 14, I knew that I was going to have to move away from home at a younger age and go play against older guys, play better hockey, and it's a pathway for you to help expose yourself to college coaches. Started my first year at the National Team Development Program as one of the reserve players, which was really cool. I got to stay in Ann Arbor. After that first year there, I left and went to Fargo. I really loved Fargo. I think that's part of my outdoorsman kind of started. I spent a lot of time fishing outdoors, and that was just a really, really cool experience to be able to live in North Dakota for a year and a half. Then I ended up getting traded, and I lived in Madison, Wisconsin. And then my final year of juniors, I got to play in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Brody Stevens centering it back door. They score!
I struggled a little bit away from being home. I used to just really kind of struggle with staying on task with things and staying mentally strong. There's a couple years where I had some pretty tough times. The winters got pretty tough for me, and I would really struggle with kind of being able to open up to people. It's just a very weird experience, being able to get traded at any moment, being able to get taken away from all of your friends, the people you're living with that you're becoming close with. There wasn't really a huge sense of security, so it was really hard to necessarily open up and try to make a place a home. It just sometimes just kind of felt like you were always just visiting a place because there was not really any security for keeping you in one place at the time.
This is going to lead to punches being thrown and penalties. Stevens with a right-handed putt.
I was fighting a lot. I was being the big tough guy. I was protecting other people, and I didn't want to show any weaknesses. So that was kind of how I just learned to bury it and not talk about it. And I just thought, I was being weird. Maybe it's just the winter blues or whatever. And big tough bruiser guy, didn't really want to seem weak or, seem too emotional, and just really struggled with being able to be anything close to happy.
Pretty much trading some pretty good haymakers there for a little bit, and they'll now get some time to go cool off in the penalty box.
It was kind of funny because with my entire family going to Michigan, I don't think a lot of people expected me to end up wearing green and white. I explored a lot of my options and It really came down to the people I was going to be surrounded with on a daily basis. You know, the guys that are in my class right now are some of my best friends, and this place felt like a family to me. That first freshman year just really hit hard, and I came off as happy, and I had, you know, moments of happiness, but there's just a really long time where it didn't necessarily feel like I experienced it at all. Probably around January, I actually got called into Coach Cole's office, just me and him, and he locked the door and pretty much sat me down and told me I had to tell him what was going on. Kind of when I broke down, and not really what I expected it, how it to come out, it turn around, but it was kind of good for me because, he forced it out of me, and I had never really opened up about those thoughts or feelings before. I didn't know it was visual, and obviously the coaching staff had noticed it, and guys on the team had noticed it, and DC did a good job of forcing it out of me, and I ended up finding some help there for Doc Rosen and the support staff here at Michigan State.
Stevens all by himself down the middle of the ice, shoots and scores! Brody Stevens, what a shot! He had mustard and relish on that.
I have seasonal affective disorder syndrome. Call it SADS for short. I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. If I don't get enough sunlight, my brain starts producing a chemical that is linked with what bears go into hibernation with. It affects my mood, my emotions. It's just, everything just becomes kind of meaningless to someone. It's called a happy lamp, which is a lamp that emits a certain amount of lumens, which is exactly what my brain needs to create the chemical to help make me happy. During the months of the year that I feel down, it's something I sit in front of and it helps me. It's really crazy that I felt so connected to nature for so long, and then I found out that my brain's chemical balance pretty much is decided on how much time I spend outside in the light. The happy lamp for me is something that I use, rainy days, cold days, days I don't have a lot of time to go outside, but obviously my original happy lamp was the sun.
And we talk a lot to them, hey, expand those horizons a little bit, and whether you're joining a club or doing something or finding your interest that's outside of hockey is a good thing, and Brody's a great case for that. Loves being outdoors, and through his job he's got to do some work study stuff over the summer, and that's one of the great things about a campus like Michigan State. You've got the city right there, you've got the country right there. There's a lot of different avenues to get out and enjoy those things, and he certainly has, and from a leadership wise, it's great having a guy like that.
Me and Tommy Miller, Gino Esvez, we've driven out to Grand Ledge just to go watch a sunset. We try to find ways to make sure that we don't just get trapped in our own little world here, and we still get to experience that great big outdoors and that whole other world that's exposed to us at all moments. I think a lot of what can isolate people with depression is the fact that a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to check in on someone that's depressed because they think it's going to trigger their depression, just to be able to talk about it. Definitely the more a conversation is held about being depressed and struggling with depression, I think it helps people who do struggle with it feel more comfortable having it. It makes them feel more normal, and it makes them feel more just like everyone else. You can find your own personal happiness. It's just hopefully be able to reach out to anyone that's struggling with it.
There was a lot of challenges as a freshman. I say the pace of everything just picked up, not just basketball-wise, but being a freshman, you already have to come in and meet new people who you don't know. I didn't know anybody coming in, and then on top of that, we had to gel in the court, and then I was put into a starting role where I had to be a leader right away. So all of that just happened really fast for me. My childhood, it was mostly centered around basketball. I started playing basketball when I was about 10 years old and kept playing since there. I started out me shooting basketballs over my door in the house, and then my dad got me one of those little rims that you put on the door, and then he signed me up to join the YMCA and learn how to play there. My mom, she really helped me with the basketball process behind the scenes, whether it's like studying, talking to schools, making sure I picked the right school at Michigan State. And then my dad, he really helped me on the court with coaching and stuff like that. And then my sister's always been there to support. My parents made sure that I was independent by making sure that in my activities, whether it was basketball or school, that I always went full out and took no half steps. And they did that to be sure that even if I didn't succeed or whether I did succeed, it wasn't because of me not trying my hardest or me not going all the way and committing to doing whatever I was doing. My mom's always been really big on goals. Like even before this season, we set some. I think for this season, they were at least 15 points a game, like 5 assists, 5 rebounds. And whether that happens or not, I just think it was important that we set them to be able to have a bar to reach, a bar to be able to go past and stuff like that. But she's really big on goals because it's good to have something in mind to be able to chase that and achieve that and not lose focus on what you have in front of you. As a freshman, I was really shy. It takes a while for me to get to know people, but everybody was welcoming and open and patient with me. I had struggled speaking up in the past, just not knowing when was the right time to say something or how to say it. But that was probably from inexperience. It was hard for me to be a leader vocally on the team in my first 2 seasons, but I tried to do it as best as I could.
When she first got here, she was really quiet. Like, we couldn't really get her to talk and be vocal. Like, you know, the things that they expected from her for being a starting point guard at such a young age.
Nia, a lot like myself, was very quiet last year. I think this year she's getting used to Coach's system and definitely getting more comfortable, so she's becoming more of a vocal leader. I know what she's going through. You know, when I was playing here, my coaches were trying to get it out of me too, to become more of a vocal leader sooner than what I did. So I'm trying to challenge Nia and continue to help her grow and get out of her comfort zone. And I tell her it's okay to be uncomfortable, and the more often you talk, then the easier it will be and more natural it will be for her to become that vocal leader.
She was really quiet, and just like as a point guard, it's kind of surprising, you know, because as her position requires her to lead and to talk, I was just really surprised, but her game talks a lot too. So when she's out there and she's not talking a lot, how she plays and just how big she plays, it talks a lot to me.
Into a cutting Clouden. Her floater is good. 23 points for Clouden.
Being a leader by example is all about how hard you work and how much you're willing to give on the court. So I found leading by example to be easier than leading vocally because I'm naturally a more quiet person. But I think that came along with just me getting to know people more, and over the years and months, just being able to connect more with people and be more comfortable with them, and be able to lead more vocally on the court. I feel like people really care about and listen to what I have to say as being an upperclassman on this team.
It's almost like she knows when to say something. Like, she's not one of those players that's gonna get on you all the time. She just talks at the right time. She talks with her actions more than with her words. So she leads us with her abilities to score, her ability to defend. And I think that's huge for players, you know, that don't like to have people in their ear all the time.
She just works hard on the court, so she wants her game to be loud. But in order to be successful as a team, she's the point guard. She needs to be more vocal, so it needs to not just be her game, but also her voice as well.
She plays the quarterback on her team. You know, and when you pick that position, that's something that you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. It isn't just about you. And I think she's really learned to embrace and get out of her comfort zone a little bit. So it's been fun to sort of watch her be a little more just aggressive when it comes to being a vocal leader. She still could continue to improve that, but certainly she's someone that we look to. Not only does she is our best player coming back, but she certainly plays a position that we need that leadership from.
Susie has been a big help in teaching me how to be confident and lead more, especially from a coach to a point guard. That's a relationship that has to be really strong, and she's helped me along the way because I didn't always have the answers, and she's been here for a while, doing this for a while, and was a point guard herself. So she's really helped me become more confident and just trust myself more on the court and off the court. We just talk and have regular conversations. I get to know her more, she gets to know me more, and we just become closer as two people just relating. On the court, she has confidence in the decisions I choose to make. Even if it's a wrong decision at the time, she'll pull me to the side and say, this is what you could have done, or stuff like that. And then when she does critique me, I listen and have the same respect for her.
Nia is just for everybody. You know, Nia is all about everybody on this team. I don't think she's ever had a conflict with anybody. I mean, she is as even keel as they come, and I think sometimes, you know, we always talk about never being too high or too low. I think when Nia has that neutral mentality on and off the court, she's the same person every single day. So I think that transcends. Although she's aggressive on the court in terms of how she plays, she's the same kid every single day when we go out there and coach her, and I think her teammates appreciate that about her.
For the team to be successful, I feel like I just have to play hard all the time, whether it's in practice or in the game, and then be the vocal leader our team needs. A person people can count on, a person people can hold accountable, and someone who can hold other people accountable. And then just to set the right example, whether that's even in school and doing my work, getting good grades, or on the court, scoring some amount of points or getting some amount of assists, and just talking to our team on defense. And there's just so many ways I can help lead this team and be someone people can look up to.
At her pocket picked. That was by Nia Clouden, who's doing it all today.
Nia has evolved over her 3 years here. It seems like she just evolved into like another person. Not another person, but just she's fun. Like she laughs more, she talks more. She just seems more comfortable. Like she feels, I can tell that she has just gelled within the system.
Nia has definitely improved being a vocal leader. Just, you know, when we come together in huddles and in practice, she's still kind of quiet, but she's also very effective by the way she talks. So in those moments that we need her, she's always there talking. And so she's definitely kind of stepped up in those big games and those big moments to kind of lead for us vocally.
That makes me really happy. It makes me proud of myself that my teammates look up to me on and off the court. I try to be that person for them just the way I carry myself off the court, in school, and in basketball. I just try to be the best person I can be, and hopefully that's good enough. From freshman year to now, I say my biggest emotional takeaway would just be to be more comfortable with myself and be more comfortable in the situations that I'm put in, whether it's being a freshman who has been put into a starting role, or now being a junior who's been in the role for a while now. Just being comfortable and being at ease and being poised in the role that I'm in, and finding comfort in the uncomfortable.
Welcome to Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't think there's anybody listening out there that's not excited to maybe put 2020 in the rearview mirror.
Michigan State has a great opportunity here tonight in Nebraska. Michigan State, I have a feeling, is going to come away with a win tonight.
Don't worry about anything else. You got to play hard. You got to play as smart as you can play. And you got to do the things that we're telling you to help you do. And together, we'll get it done. Together. I ain't getting it done by myself. You ain't getting it done. Let's go to work!
And MSU's trying to pick up the tempo. Gabe Brown spins, floater up, and it's in. And that's the first two by Gabe Brown. Banton dribbles around. He goes down low. His shot is rejected big time by Sissoko. Here comes MSU on transition. Down the lane. Scoop shots away off the glass, and it's good by Aaron Henry. For an easy layup for Jorgensen, but from behind he got blocked. Rebound, Kithier. Now to Langford for a three. He got it. Well, what a great rebound by Thomas Kithier, and what a nice pass to the wing. Here comes MSU. Henry, a 3-ball from the wing. It's nothing but net, so he got that one. And now he just picked off a lazy pass. He's going to go wire to wire. What a slam!
No doubt about that one. Nice job by Gabe Brown.
Hogard working down the lane. He goes. Kicks in the wing. Gabe Brown wide open for a 3-ball. He got it. On the road, MSU picks up its first Big Ten win of the year. The final, Michigan State 84 and Nebraska's got 77.